John Paul. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Today, I'm talking about Tillet Wright, who happens to be Amber Heard's good friend who was at the wedding between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Now, what Mr. Tillet does is gets into a fight at the wedding, something like that, some kind of confrontation people have called abusive. And then what Mr. Tillet does is goes on Twitter and has pretty much a rampage, a vomit of thoughts, keeps replying to people. But what Mr. Tillet says is that people like me, strangers, nosy people, shouldn't be involved in Amber Heard's business. But when you go on Twitter and you post a bunch of replies and things like that in such a high interest case, of course you're gonna stir up people's curiosity and you're gonna give them content to talk about. So let's see what Mr. Tillet said on Twitter. By the way, I'm aware that Mr. Tillet is a transgender, so I don't make mistakes with he, she, things like that. I'll be referring to this person as Mr. Tillet. Hope that's okay with everyone. Here we go. Okay, so here's the first tweet, and before we get into this, I want to say there was a few tweets about Johnny Depp's late mother and Amber Heard's late mother, which I cut out completely because I just don't want to get into that. It's not really the thing I want to touch upon since it's a touchy subject, so here we go. Now, first question, do you believe everything Amber said to you about Depp? And then Mr. Tillet replies, I believe that everything both sides have to say and prove should be heard in a court of law, and until then, nosy strangers should leave it alone. I think people on the internet shouldn't be coaxed into bullying witnesses. I too want to see all the facts and evidence laid out. So, Jew girl down here, and I didn't pick that name, that's her name, says, I'll take that as a no, thank you. So, what I'm saying is, this person here, Tillet, is pretty famous right now due to this case. So if you're going to go on Twitter and just go back and forth with some fans, basically, then you're going to start some activity and you're going to get people curious about what you're doing. So obviously, it's not going to help people stay out of your business. By the way, let's look at some hearts so we could just see, how many people feel that Mr. Tillet's right or that the fan side is right. Here, Mr. Tillet says, a true show of blind misogyny is a man deciding what a woman's experience of something was and then speaking publicly about it without her consent. The only thing more misogynistic is another man taking that flag and running it without fact-checking it with that woman. Well, actually, it really depends on the specific woman and what that woman did. Now, of course, he doesn't say, I just messed up. Okay, now, of course, Mr. Tillet doesn't say Amber Heard here, but I can only assume that when he's making these responses, I screwed up again, and Mr. Tillet is saying things on Twitter, he's kind of hinting towards Amber Heard. And in this case, we have to take home the lesson. It depends on what the woman does, whether it should be gone public or not. And in the case of Amber Heard, it was probably the best thing to do for the lawsuit and to have it go public. Oh, I might hear it on this one. I mean, look, I speak the way I speak. I say he and her every day, so it's kind of tough. And, of course, we know Mr. Tillet here got the nickname I Slap Rocky from the little confrontation he had at the wedding. So, Florina says, I Slap Rocky, is that your nickname, right? And then the response is, so are we conspirators or do we hate each other? The wheels are coming off the spin machine and you all just buy right in. And then Florina says, I find you very hypocritical. If it's not true, then prove it. Yes, the wheels sure are coming off of your spin machine. And here I took out the hearts. Well, I highlighted the hearts. 704. So whoever's watching and Twitter is public, then they're on the side of Florina here. You guys let me know down below whose side you're on. I'll take a wild guess that it's not Mr. Tillet's side, but you never know. I could be wrong. And then Mr. Tillet says, you're not up on how trans stuff works, are you? Take a seat on this one, Johnny. And you know what? I'm kind of not up on how trans stuff works. I have no way to be. That's why I'm calling him Mr. Tillet, so I don't make some mistake here, because although Apparently, I'm on the side of Johnny. He's on the side of Amber, I would assume. I don't want to bring any kind of transgender thing into this. I just want to be polite about it. And Johnny High says, "Oh, right, I forgot the part in the Constitution of trans stuff where it's okay for women to abuse other women. Your friends seem to have no problem abusing their girlfriends and ending up in Seattle prison after being arrested by a lesbian officer who was a witness." And the response by Mr. Tillet is, "Laugh out loud, the Constitution, are you 12? Have a nice day, buddy." I just realized if I'm saying Mr. and not Mrs., maybe that's insulting, but I mean Mr. like in the way like you call anything Mr. Oh man. Let's just keep going. So, the hearts. 0, 0, and 5 for Johnny High. So, this one here has Johnny's mom in it, and like I said, I'll be skipping those out of respect. But, just so you know, 8 hearts to 0. And then, Mr. Tillet says, "It's wild how they've been manipulated. I wish they'd direct their energy toward doing good in the world. Imagine what they could achieve." And Stitch Cult says, "These people who are raging at IO because he hit a woman. Yeah, these people are the problem here, not IO and his slap attacks." So, that's the thing. I guess what Tillet is trying to say here is that if I was putting my energy towards something aside from making Amber Heard videos, or you guys taking your time to criticize Amber Heard along with me, we could be helping the world. But I thought we were helping the world by calling out somebody who is giving a bad face to women who are actually being abused, and she's hurting their credibility. We're also doing something because Johnny appears to be in the right, and he should not have been treated like that, and the defamation should not have happened. He should have just been cruising along with his career. Until it says here, "As for the Bahamas, I was at odds with the behavior of certain individuals at that gathering, but I did not assault anyone. Seriously, it's disgusting to give credence to a man's interpretation of how a woman was assaulted and amplify it without her consent." And the thing is this. We got a statement from one of Johnny's good friends, Richmond. I forget his first name, excuse me, but his last name's Richmond. And if that's correct, and it's true, then this person, Tillet, was in fact in a physical altercation with somebody at the wedding. So he's essentially calling Richmond a liar, and it doesn't sound like Richmond is. He wrote a pretty detailed statement on it, which was covered by Incredibly Average. I covered it. It just looked legit. So I'm going to have to believe Richmond over Tillet here. TrutherBot says, "So you're saying you never bragged about being called I Slept Rocky?" And Tillet says, "You realize this guy is saying he invented a misogynic nickname for me based on a misogynic act you committed." Exactly. So like if he didn't commit, I said it again. Jeez, I'm really screwing up. I gotta apologize to Tillet here. So if Tillet didn't commit the act, then that nickname would not come about. So I think it's perfectly fair to say by what Tillet did, the nickname was created, and it was, from what I understand, a violent act at a wedding nonetheless. And then Tillet tries to say it doesn't matter what it was actually called, a slap, beat up, assault, playing semantics. That you didn't slap anyone at the wedding, you would have witnessed. And Tillet says slap, or violent assault, or was it beat up? It doesn't matter. Physical is physical. Yes, okay, a slap is not as bad as beat up is not as bad as violently assault, but the fact is, it's a physical confrontation at a wedding, and 2 hearts to 0, so there you go on that again. So Mary Domino says, "With all due respect, IO, a high-profile case involving 3+ high-profile individuals is always going to invite scrutiny and public interest and discussion. 3 of you are public figures, and you, sir, published an article invented for the public, further inviting nosy strangers in." Which is true. I mean, Tillet has to know whatever they do at this point is going to be somehow analyzed and get out in the public. For sure, but there's a difference between curiosity and devoting oneself to dissecting leaks from one side and preventing arguments about people involved before all the facts can be addressed in court. Just imagine you're wrong and are engaging in witness intimidation. I don't know, man. I gotta say, I've been covering this case. I think it's been 6 weeks now. And obviously, look, I'm here. We're not on the inside. but it just seems that nothing is coming out on Amber's side as far as people coming to her defense. That alone, aside from the recordings, really says a lot. She's got a few people on her side that are like her friends, but a lot of her own people, like her makeup artist and her assistant, are kind of turning on her. Actors she works with are not defending her. Jason Momoa doesn't even follow her on Twitter. So, okay, we'll have to actually wait till court comes, but not even her lawyers have good defenses for her really at this point. So, it seems like she's in the wrong. By the way, 8-0. Nice job, Mary. And then, again, Florina Angel says, and this is one of my points that she obviously is on the same page about, and my final response, I swear, you are not the only witness. However, you are the only one not keeping quiet. Engaging with fans is only inviting them in further. Also, frankly, it's making you look crazy. And that's what I was saying in the beginning, is that if you go on Twitter and you vomit out some replies and responses and get heated and even, mention a little legal talk and things like that, obviously you're going to look like you don't have very good self-control, and it's going to invite people like, I guess, Entertainment Hacker to make a video and talk about it, and then you guys can leave a comment and talk about it, and round we go. Then maybe someone will look at this video, make their own video, write an article, and there you have it. And he doesn't stop. Keeps going. Laugh out loud. Yesterday, why are you so silent? Today, you're responding to a campaign of bullies with conversation, and logic is making you look crazy. Because he's... I did it again, gosh darn it. Because Tillet looks so logical. Doesn't Tillet? Why won't you engage with us? We just want answers. You can block us all you want, but we aren't going away, coward. That was until it was revealed you yourself are an abuser. That is in a deposition that you claim to detail false. What really happened between you and Raquel? I'm not sure. I guess we'll get to that at some point. And then Tillet's response is, that would be terrible. I can only do my part in this situation and speak to what I saw, heard, experienced, and hope sincerely that the truth prevails. I would like the court to look at everything and decide what is true, and what I just said was, somebody saw you do it, whose name is Richmond, and they wrote a statement. So although Tillet would like to only say what he saw and he did, there were other people, third parties, who saw what he did, who can tell us. So don't worry about it. We know. Simp Nationalist says, but think about it. Amber Heard herself wanted to go to court and have everything public. Pretty good statement. I can't speak to her intentions, but I can tell you that for years it was everyone's utmost concern to keep everything private while he got treatment. When something like a divorce or restraining order is filed, the tabloids run with it. That's not anyone's choice. But when you do something like I've been saying over and over, you know that the tabloids and the media and things like that is going to run with it. That's why you've got to be very careful with what you do. So if you say abuse somebody and you record it and the proof is actually against you, it might be the best idea in your own interest if you don't release that. But I guess Amber Heard did, and here we are. So yeah, I gotta offer a sincere apology, and I'm not joking, man. Like, I do this commentary and I say he, she, they. It's really not my intention to make a joke out of it, and I tried my best, but a few times I referred to Tillet as he, so I hope that doesn't offend anybody, and I tried. So I want to give a special shout out right now, and you guys please leave me down below what you think of this. I know my thoughts here were a little scattered. I'm moving fast. I'm having a crazy week. Let's get to the shout out. Shout out goes to MZZ Merlin. She sent me these tweets, so thank you very much. She got together quite a few of them, and like I said, there were even more, but I cut out some stuff with the late mothers because that's just how I want to roll. I've got some serious feelings about it, but it's not really worth getting into, and it's just going to cause, pretty much disagreement. So I think it's pretty much mostly like 99% irrelevant to the proof we need for the case anyway. So if you're not subscribed here, I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, Johnny Depp vs. Amber Heard, pop culture, some Star Wars, some Japan vlogs, whatever I feel like doing. If you subscribe, you'll get more videos like this. If you don't, I guess I'll be sad, but I'll live with it. Life goes on. See you next time.
would walk away in the night with the orange light.